The BLACKVIEW W60. This is a recently released smartwatch from BLACKVIEW, more known for their rugged large battery phones. The selling point of this smartwatch, at least for me, is the built-in flashlight and huge 900 mAh battery. Here's what came in the box. The watch itself. The USB-A to magnetic connection charger cable. An extra nylon watch band. And the instruction manual. It claims to have all these specs and features like every other smartwatch of this class, which are of questionable accuracy in my opinion. So let's get to the feature that makes this more of a standout than others before moving on to the rest of the watch's features. The flashlight. You can activate the flashlight using the dedicated orange button on the left side. Clicking it wakes the watch. If it's off, then you hold it for 2 seconds to turn on the light. Hold it another 2 seconds to turn it off. If you double press it quickly while the watch is on, then it goes into the strobe light flashing mode. You might want to use this to draw attention to yourself in various situations. Click it once while it's in the strobe mode and it goes into a steady flashlight. Hold for 2 seconds to turn off. Keep in mind the screen needs to be on for the button to function. If you've left the light on and the screen timed out, holding the button won't turn off the light. The other way to activate the light is to use the on-screen controls under the Torch app flashlight icon in the menu. Or you can set it up as a shortcut from the pull-down shortcut screen. Or you can set it up as a favorite app accessible by swiping left. Using the dedicated button only activates the highest level of brightness. Whereas if you've triggered it from the on-screen controls, you have settings to adjust the brightness. Here's how it looks. This is on its brightest setting. Here it is as I step it down using the on-screen controls. Compared to my other flashlight watch, the KE3, which has no brightness setting, the W60 is noticeably brighter. On a dark, unlit sidewalk, it provides better visibility than the KE3. Check out the comparison videos. Here is the phone's single LED light for comparison. Here is the strobe in action. I find the light on the W60 to be very useful and is a handy feature when needed. Being on my wrist and positioned at the 12 o'clock orientation means it can be worn left or right-handed, unlike the KE3s, which is only really useful to left-handed wearers. Now for the second important feature of this watch is the huge 900 mAh battery. I'm using a brightness level of 50%, which gives good daylight and nighttime visibility, and screen on time of 10 seconds. Vibration is set to the strongest setting. I get about a dozen notifications a day from various apps. I've turned off all the health reminders that I could, and after 10 days of use, I'm at 51%. That's pretty good. Lastly, let's take a look at the built-in watch faces. I find the selection a bit disappointing. There's nothing that really looks good and easy to read at a glance. I settled for this 2-line digital clock with a small date in the center, even though I'd rather have a single-line digital display. But this is the only one that's not garish and easy to read at a glance for me. So with the main features tested, let's get on to the rest of the watch. The watch itself is over 14 millimeters thick, approximately 44 millimeters wide, and 50 millimeters long. The display is stated to be 2.01 inches, although I only measured 1.9 inches. The included silicone strap feels like it's good quality. However, the strap loops don't have any notches to hold it in position. The left side has the dedicated orange flashlight activation button as explained earlier. There are 2 buttons on the right side. The top button turns the screen on, then toggles between the watch face and menu. The bottom button also wakes the screen, but functions as a back button if pressed within an app, then toggles the screen on and off once you've backed out into the main screen. For the user interface, it's similar to other watches of this class. Pull down for the shortcuts, which are customizable although limited in selection. This is done through Settings, Display, then Controls. Swiping up brings you to your notifications, which are grouped by the app and then grouped by the sender. So you have to click in to the app and then click into the sender to view each individual message. I prefer a straight timeline list as they come in, but this will still work. The fonts on this watch are just a bit too big. As you can see here in the notifications, there's scrolling where it shows you which platform the message came from. This is a large enough screen and the resolution looks to be high enough that this could be designed with smaller fonts and look neater and sleeker in appearance. Swiping to the right brings up a summary tab with the time, weather, and the last 4 apps used. Swiping to the left brings up your customized favorite apps. Unfortunately, this is limited in selection. This is set up in the settings. Display, Favorites. Let's get back to the shortcuts and favorites for a second. These let you access your favorite actions easily by making them available from the pull down or swiping left for the favorites apps. However, not every app or action is available to be added on. For my own personal use, I'd like to have the music controls, the torch control, the voice assistant, and the timer app set up for easy access. On this watch, only the torch control was available to be added to the pull-down shortcuts and favorites. The voice assist, music, and timer could only be accessed from the menu list, even though BLACKVIEW's own website shows it as something that could be added to the favorites tab. Hopefully this will be fixed in a future update, but as you know, these brands hardly update their firmware. Now for the settings. Right away you'll notice the scrolling text again, as if the programmers didn't bother to scale the interface properly. All the usual settings are here, like lift to wake, the menu style, which they call a theme, the screen on time, etc. Noticeable items here include a theater mode, which dims the screen and disables the lift to wake and notification screen wake, which is an ideal setting for a movie theater environment. Okay, before we get to the apps, I'll show you the app list styles available. Through the settings, display, and then theme, you can choose from the list, grid, nest. This is the obligatory Apple Watch theme. Halo, whirling, Star Trek, or waterfall. For this watch, since I'm not able to set my favorites tabs or customize my shortcuts to my frequently used apps, I settled for the grid layout and remember the icon of the app I need. This theme or menu style only has 2 pages, so getting to what I need is quick, as long as I can remember the icon. Now let's go through the included apps. The apps included are your typical ones. You get an activity tracker that summarizes your activity, phone app, a heart rate meter, a workout tracker, a blood oxygen meter, a sleep meter, a breathing guidance app, the settings menu, stress meter app, the alarm entries, the measure app, which is actually a combination meter for heart rate, blood oxygen, and stress levels. There's the weather app, your workout log, the voice assistant, what's the weather in Lake Titicaca?
Currently in Lake Titicaca, it's 53 degrees and partly cloudy. Today, it'll be partly cloudy, with a forecasted high of 55 and a low of 46. And tomorrow, there will be scattered thunderstorms.
Access to your notifications, the music controls, a stopwatch and timer, a calculator, the torch flashlight app, a find phone app, a camera shutter control app, a female health app, and the compass app. One interesting thing about the timer app is that it will keep buzzing you until you either turn it off or hit the repeat key. Other watches of this type will simply buzz you once and stop, given that most of these watches have weak vibration motors. I like it that this one will keep buzzing me until I take an action, so I definitely will not miss it. Finally, we're going to take a look at the phone app for the BLACKVIEW W60, which is called Gloryfit Pro. It's available on the Google Play Store. Just like most of these cheap smartwatch apps, you do not need to log in. You can just hit the skip on the top right corner right there. Next, it will ask you to set the battery use to unoptimized or unrestricted so that it can run in the background without getting shut off by the Android system. Now, set up your personal details. But since the default measurement units is in metric, which I'm not familiar with, I'll just tap through this until I can change the units later on. Now you can find your watch, or in other words, pair it through Bluetooth. You can search it with Bluetooth or scan the QR code on your watch. Give it all the permissions it needs to complete the process. Once you see it's paired and connected in the Device tab, you can set your incoming notifications. For me, I activate the SMS text messaging, incoming calls, and customize the app reminders to the apps that I use, such as WeChat and Facebook Messenger. One good thing is that Gloryfit Pro also allows you to set custom notifications from your apps that are not on its preset list. You just hit the More Reminders. You can also go to the watch face market from here to get some more watch faces. Scroll down more and you can set up your contacts you want to appear on your watch. Your SMS fixed message replies, which I never figured out how to use. Your emergency contacts, watch settings that you can adjust on the app instead of going through the watch menu, a system reset, and the firmware update tool. Once that's done, go to the Me tab and set up your units if needed. I'm changing the units of measure to what I'm familiar with. Click on your profile icon on the top right to correct your measurements. On the Home tab, it's a summary of your activity and you can edit what appears. You need to have at least one activated. For me, the only thing I do here is sleep. Under Sports, it's a tracker for time-based activity. It triggers your watch to start tracking you also. Now that it's all paired, I can show you how phone calls go. Here is a list of contacts I added from my list on the phone app. Let's call Walgreens in Las Vegas.
Welcome to your 24-hour Walgreens at the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Convention Center in Las Vegas.
Now here's how an incoming call looks like. It actually reads the incoming phone number to you in Mandarin. I couldn't find a way to change the language, however. And lastly, let's record a voicemail using the watch's mic and hear how it sounds compared to the phone's mic.
Please leave your message for...
I'm testing the microphone using the watch. Now I'm testing the microphone on the phone itself for comparison.
To replay your message, press 1.
I'm testing the microphone using the watch. Now I'm testing the microphone on the phone itself for comparison. So to summarize, here is what this watch does well. The light is actually useful and in a good position for both left and right-handed wearers. The battery life is phenomenal. I can confidently go well over 2 weeks per charge. As for what's not so good, it's a really thick watch due to the huge battery size. But if you have some tight sleeves, it might be in the way. Also, the ability to customize the shortcuts and favorites is lacking, with only a limited selection of apps available to be chosen. The vibration motor is still on the weak side, even though it's on its strongest setting. I hope this helps you decide if this watch is right for you.